Good morning, everyone. It is February 17th, 2022, and it's about 6 in the morning-ish. I know I didn't say yesterday's date. Sorry. But, today we're still in Genesis chapter 14. We're going to be doing Genesis chapter 14, verse 13 through Genesis chapter 14, verse 16. And your boy Lot got into a lot of trouble. He's captured, remember? He's captured by this war that's going on with pretty much every kingdom around. And we're going to see what Abram does. And this is going to show the contrast again between Lot and Abram. And we're going to see again Abram's heart in this moment. So I'm going to start in Genesis chapter 14, verse 13. But one of Lot's men escaped and reported everything to Abram, the Hebrew, who was living near the oak grove belonging to Mir the Amorite. Mir and his relatives, Isaac and Aner, were Abram's allies. When Abram heard that his nephew Lot had been captured, he mobilized 318 trained men who had been born into his household. Then he pursued Kamara's army until they caught up with them in Dan. There he divided his men and attacked at night. Kamara's army fled, but Abram chased them as far as Hedoth, north of Damascus. Abram recovered all the goods that had been taken, and he brought back his nephew Lot and his possessions and all the women and other captives. Do you see it? Now, if we remember, Lot took the best land from Abram. I don't know about you, but if someone took something that I needed, even if I gave them the choice and they didn't consider me, I wouldn't be quick to jump in. But Abram does. Abram sees that his nephew's in trouble. He sees and he gets this message. And Abram's already gotten allies. Abram's already, doing what God has told him to do. And he gets a message that Lot got into trouble. And Abram takes the people that he's been training for battle. Because remember, this isn't now where there's police and all that stuff. This was, you had to be prepared for battle on the constant. So when you're sitting there and you're training these men and he is taking the time to do this and he's making allies and all this stuff, he gets the message. Lot's messenger gets to him. It says Lot's been captured. People have been captured. We need your help. So Abram takes all the men, 318 men that he's been training, and he goes after this army. But not only goes after them, fights them, they run away, and he goes after them again. Like, he's making a statement. He's making a statement for God. That God's warriors ain't gonna back down. We're gonna go after you. We're gonna go after the darkness. We're gonna go after the wickedness. We're gonna go after the sin. And that's the thing, is we need to be warriors. We need to go after the darkness. We don't battle with flesh and blood. Paul writes that we don't battle with flesh and blood, but we battle the darkness. Jesus tells us to be the light in the darkness, and we have to go after the darkness. We have to go into the places where we're just like, I don't even want to deal with that. We have to step up when we're in a point where we can have a conversation with somebody, and it may get awkward, it may get weird, but we need to step out into faith because somebody did that for us. Whether it was directly to us or someone in our family, our grandparents, our parents. Some of us were born into church. You know, some of us were born into good Christian families, but somebody stepped out somewhere. There are, you know, youth pastors and there's, you know, children's church leaders who step out and speak. And we need to do the same. So, like Abram, who's like, all right, I'm going to battle up. I'm going to get 318 men. We're going to go after this dude. That's not a lot of people. Like, I don't know. Sometimes in the Bible, they'll say specifically how many men that the enemy has and how many men that the Israelites have. But they don't specify how many men are in this army. But you gotta think about it being a lot because they've taken captives. They've done all that stuff. Like, so there's gotta be a bunch. I don't know how many. But Abram has 318. And that's a specific number. So we know specifically that Abram has these men. Plus he has his allies. And I don't know if this counts his allies and their men or whatever. But Abram hears, and Abram's heart cries out for his nephew. And instead of saying, well, you got yourself into the situation, you get yourself out of it. Instead of doing that, he battles up, he battle ready, and he goes to war. And in going to war, he trusts that God's going to deliver him from this war. Abram catches, defeats, and takes back everything they took from Lot. Everything they captured from other people, he took that back. He rescued Lot. He rescued all the women. He rescued the captives. Because he stepped out. Because he saw, even though his nephew made a big mistake, even though his nephew went straight for the bed, Abram knew that he had to rescue. He couldn't sit there and say, well, you know, let me know how it works out. Let me know what's going on, and let me know when you get out of it, and then we can talk. Because that's not what Jesus does. We get into sin. We get into mess. We get into severe trouble. Let's just be real for a second. We get into moments where we're just like, what did I do? Whatever moment that is. Whatever addiction we're in. Whatever. Like, to be honest. And Jesus hears our cries. And he rescues us. Jesus didn't die on the cross and go, you know what? Before you can come to me, you gotta fix yourself. As he's dying, and I want you to remember this, as Jesus is dying on the cross, there's a criminal right next to him who says he believes. Remember me, the criminal says. And Jesus forgives him. As Jesus is dying on the cross. I mean, this man is dying right next to Jesus. Like, there's no time to fix it. There's no time to get pretty and to fix all the mess and become righteous on your own. No, there's no time. This man is going to die right next to Jesus. And he asks Jesus to remember him. He confesses his sins to Jesus right there and then. Jesus didn't say, well, get down off the cross, fix your mess, and then I will. No. He doesn't. He accepts the man. He accepts the criminal right where he's at. And that's the thing that Jesus shows us over and over and over again. That Jesus accepts us right where we're at. He goes into battle. He goes into war. He goes into all of this muck and mess, and he rescues us. We see that in Abram right now. And I'm not saying Abram is perfect. You already saw what happens when Abram doesn't do what God tells him to do. Jesus, on the other hand, is perfect. He never sinned. He never did any of that stuff, but he took on ours. He took on the wrath of God for us. And when we go to him and when we turn to him and say, I messed up and I don't know what to do. Help me. Help me, please. He goes, all right, I'll rescue you. And he rescues us and rescues us and rescues us because he loves us. Abram loved Lot. Abram loved Lot so much that he went to battle for him. He went in the midst of the grime and the muck and all that stuff, and he rescued him. My question is, today, twofold. One, where's your muck? What are you in that you're like, I don't even know. I don't know how I got here. I mean, I kind of know how I got here, but I didn't know it was going to get this bad. And I don't know how to get out of it. I'm stuck. Like when your car gets stuck in the mud. I'm stuck. And I can't get myself out. I can press on the gas as much as I want, but my wheels are just spinning. So where is your muck? And the second question is, and maybe it's more than two questions, but the second question is, can you turn to Jesus, saying, Jesus, and being fully and completely vulnerable and honest and saying, Jesus, I messed up. I am stuck. I don't know how to get myself out of this. Everything's caving in around me. Help me. And will you work with him? Because he's not just, sometimes he does, sometimes he just takes you right out of it. But sometimes he wants you to learn things, so he'll walk through it with you. David says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. So sometimes we have to walk through the muck. We have to walk through the muck. But God and Jesus walks through us. The Holy Spirit guides us through the muck. My third question is, where's somebody else's muck? Where is someone you know who's struggling? And not just struggling, but straight up stuck. And they see no hope. Maybe they don't know Jesus, or maybe they think they've messed up too much, or whatever the case may be, but they may not have hope. And where can you step in that moment, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you're like, I have no idea how to help, but even if you just reach out your hand, and if you got Jesus on your side, he's going to help you pull them out. And he's going to pull them out. But he may use you to do so. So here's my question. There's a bunch of questions today, I guess. Can you do these things? Can you be vulnerable with Jesus and tell him where your muck is and where you're truly stuck? And can you help somebody else? Can you say, I get you're stuck. I get you're in this situation, and I know how hard it is, but let me help you. Let me help you see Jesus. So hope today you guys see Jesus in everything you do, and you see God's promises all around you, and that you can be vulnerable with Jesus and have that relationship with him. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.